order of business we already held the public hearing on. So if you would like to speak to that specific public hearing, it has its own sheet up there, so you can either sign up for general public comment or specifically to that one topic. We would like to acknowledge the staff's work in preparation for this meeting. Their insights are invaluable to each topic of town business. We appreciate our town manager, Natasha Tucker, as we operate under the council manager form of government. She handles the daily operations and department administration, while our town council provides direction and authorizes policy in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia and our town charter. While each council member has the ultimate responsibility to contribute and vote distinctly, the town council does work as a body. We are duly elected to serve responsibly and ethically the citizens of Colonial Beach. Participation of each member contributes to effective leadership. Collaboration is key to productivity and recorded. And with that, I call the meeting of the Town of Colonial Beach to order on Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, and I got 6:04 p.m. First up on the agenda is roll call of members. All members are present. I don't have any amendments to the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next up is our consent agenda. We have meeting minutes from February 4th on it. Do I have a motion to the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next up is our council member liaison and commission reports. And I will start with Ms. Grandstaff. Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I will be reporting first on the economic vitality side of things. There wasn't a meeting prior to our council meeting. The next one will be on March 10th. So currently they are working on the pre-season business mixer that will be held March 10th at Town Center. And this will be a collaborative effort between Downtown Colonial Beach, Colonial Beach Chamber of Commerce, and the Economic Development Committee as a way to just gear up for the 2026 season and share ideas. On the tourism side of things, the Tourism Committee, working under the town's economic development, met on March 3rd to discuss implementation of the Colonial Beach and Westmoreland County, Virginia 250 Heritage Passport Program. The program includes the Colonial Beach Museum as one of the 7 participating sites throughout the county for application of a passport stamp. The committee also discussed the need to provide Town Council with a presentation and would like to do so at the March 18th meeting to kick off the 2026 tourism marketing campaign, Discover Colonial Beach. So I'm sure we'll hear more on that as time draws near. That's it for me.
All right, thank you. Ms. Stanford? Yeah, that's fine, no problem. Mr. Allison?
Good evening, everybody. The liaison for Public Works. We'll run through these just like we do every time. Infrastructure and utilities. We have 1 water install, 6 sewer backups that were cleared. They flushed approximately 4,000 feet of sanitary sewer main. Installed a clean out on Jefferson Avenue. Checked and flushed manholes on 1st Street and Roosevelt Avenue, and flushed sewer mains on 12th, 8th, and 6th Streets. Something to note, we had 0 water leaks and 0 sewer installs. Now moving on to our wastewater treatment plant. They did continue maintenance and operational support for the wastewater treatment plant. They installed motor mounts and fabricated braces for the polymer pumps. Installing access road from the wastewater treatment plant fence to tank for contractor valve replacement. Now moving on to our streets. Inspected storm drains, cleaned storm drain inlets to restore flow. Cleaned leaves and debris from ditches on Euclid, Livingston, 4th Street, and 6th Street. And continue recovery and cleanup from the snowstorms. General Services began yard debris pickup throughout town, removed water fountain at Town Hall and repaired the wall, replaced roof on Wakefield and Cedar Pump Station, repaired the fence along the bike path between Forest Avenue and 12th Street, and fixed broken boards on the pier. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Sounds good. Mr. Wood?
Good evening, everyone. Most of the events are going to take place at the community center at 717 Marshall Avenue, so assume that's the location unless otherwise indicated. There's a functional fitness class Tuesdays from 10 to 11 a.m. It's going to be March 10th and 17th. A Hatha yoga class going to be Fridays from 10 to 11 a.m. That's March 6th and 13th. Community board game night every second Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. And on March 10th, you can come learn to play Mahjong. I'm not sure what Mahjong is, but you can learn to play it. Maybe I should go. The coffee walks are every second Friday at 8 a.m. Starts at Colonial Beach Buzz, March 13th. All are welcome. And the sip and stroll during second Friday art walks from 6 to 9 p.m. Sip and stroll allows visitors to carry beverages from participating downtown businesses as they explore areas marked by sip and stroll signage. And March 13th is the first of the season. And March 8th, daylight savings time begins. So we can start doing more stuff and be able to see it while we're doing it. Permits issued for the Planning Commission or Planning Development. 8 single-family dwellings, 1 home addition, 1 renovation, 1 lot consolidation, 2 tree removals. There's going to be an average of 15 days from application to permit approval. Letters for the season's short-term rental permits will go out this month, and a flyer will be enclosed in the business license application letter to remind all businesses of the sign ordinance. Enhanced enforcement will begin April 1st. The Planning Commission updated meeting agenda is a review of the comprehensive planning schedule. So that's it for this week. Thanks.
Mr. Larson?
Good evening, everybody. Just a reminder, I'm the liaison to both the finance team here with the town and the schools. And guess what? It's budget season, so both of those groups are heavily into planning their budgets. The council has mostly had meetings already with the schools about their proposed budget. I think a couple of us haven't yet, but most everybody has. As always, they put together a very well organized presentation and made their case for the budget they're looking for us to ratify when we get to that point. We're just starting the budget process with the town, and we'll be meeting individually with the finance team to sort of get the early sense of how the budget's going to be and provide our priorities during that process. And over the next month and a half, you'll hear more about where we are with the budget. You'll hear the school board budget will be released, I think, sometime in the next few weeks, by the end of March, I believe. So anyway, it's all about budget right now, both with the schools and with the town, and that's what we're leading into. That's it for me.
All right. Mr. Williams?
Good evening, everybody. As public safety liaison, I want to give you a few updates. Let's see, I got a couple notes from town staff. The Colonial Beach Police Department is currently recruiting local youth for the Police Explorer program. The program is designated for youths age 14 to 20 who have an interest in learning about law enforcement. The Police Explorers have monthly meetings where the explorers get hands-on training in police work. They can ride along with the police officer to observe police activities firsthand. If you know somebody that might be interested in joining the Police Explorers, please have them contact Lieutenant Southard at the Colonial Beach Police Department for an application. The Colonial Beach Police Department will be hosting the next monthly Neighborhood Watch meeting on Thursday, March 26th at 5:30 p.m. In the community room at the Colonial Beach Police Department. The topic for this meeting for March will be driving while under the influence enforcement. And a couple other notes. As liaison, I went to my first Neighborhood Watch meeting last Thursday. The topic was investigative tools. And so we got a kind of an overview of the town structure. The Colonial Beach Police Department does have an investigator on staff, and they stay quite busy. Some of the types of cases that they handle, we were told, were narcotics, firearms, arson, sex crimes, crimes against children, and cyber crimes. They also went over some of the tools and systems that they use in law enforcement, and kind of described some of the safeguards in place for access and information being secure. Also, at the budget meetings that Mr. Larson mentioned, I was at a school budget meeting, and I asked about the crossing guards, because that's one of the topics that's been out in the public, and the school superintendent did confirm that the crossing guards are trained by the Colonial Beach school resource officer. So they do have official training, but he did also mention that it's kind of a chaotic process, so definitely something council, I guess, could keep in mind as they're doing their next budget process for the next year. And that's all I got for public safety. Thank you.
I'm going to come back around to you, Ms. Sanford. Excellent. All right. Hopefully I won't echo too much of some of the other stuff people have already mentioned. We do have, it is budget season for the town, and so we have been going to the school to hear their budget, and the town council will actually have a specific budget work session next Tuesday. So that's March 10th. It's at 6 o'clock at our regular meeting time. So if you want to sit through line items, sounds like a great Tuesday night, right? And we've also been working on, the season's coming, summer's coming quicker as the time changes. The vendor program is starting to unfold for this season. I know the staff is working hard on trying to streamline that and improve it each year. The Sandlot, the baseball field, T-ball field that was opened at the community center. Very exciting to say there are 3 different levels of teams playing and practicing at that field this season, so it's getting quite a bit of use. T-ball is there. We have a local Colonial Beach T-ball team, coaches pitch, and our middle school team is all practicing on that field. So they were out there today, and I wanted to join them, but I'm here with you guys. So happy to be here with you guys today. No, it does look like fun, and I'm very excited for that. Soon up in April is the Osprey Festival. You'll see some more information on that by the end of the month. And I wanted to bring up that April work session, and if you guys want to put this under new business, we can do that. But April work session falls on the kids' spring break week. And I will be out of town, and I know several staff members will also be out of town that have kids in school that week. We do have 3 meetings in March, and so I wanted to get some input on if we would be open to canceling the April work session in lieu of the additional meetings in March that we have. Or do you want me to add it to new business? Any comment?
I'd say add it to new business.
All right, well, whoa. We can't. All right. So I'm going to introduce a little bit about this. The town of Colonial Beach has had an academic team, or it's called Scholastic Bowl now, for many, many years. And coach and teacher and drifter Veronica Reynolds has been heading the academic team, Scholastic Bowl team. She says she admits 26 years now. This is the first team that I'm aware of to make it all the way to the Virginia State competition. That is amazing. Not only were they regional champs, okay, so that's competing against all of our region here, but then they make it to states and they're placed third at states. And you know we're talking about all those Northern Virginia teams and Richmond and high dollar schools and all of that. I just could not be more proud of Coach Reynolds, of every player on that Scholastic Bowl team. I mean, this is such a huge achievement for we're the smallest school in the entire state. To make it to third in states is incredible. And I hope you guys carry that with you. And so that's why we wanted to invite you, and my mic keeps coming in and out, to recognize that. And I have to say, when I reached out to Ms. Reynolds I still call her Ms. Reynolds because she was also my teacher, and I can't stop that. So, but when I reached out to her, when I knew you had won regionals, and then we're going to states, and I said, I want to recognize you. This is even before you placed third at states. I mean, it only got better, guys. But I have to brag a little bit that your coach said back to me, it's not just that they're smart, they're amazing individual people. And that's the kind of students that we have at Colonial Beach High School, is a team of amazing young adults. And if she recognizes that in you, I trust her because I know she will tell me the honest truth about something. She truly sees that in you, and that alone, should just make your heart swell. It made my heart swell to hear that about the team, and she really meant it collectively, the entire team. And so I just pass that forward because, you don't always, maybe you don't always want to give yourself a pat on the back or the appreciation you deserve, but this is a moment that the town all can unite behind you and give you some recognition for that. And so I also want to just call on Coach Reynolds if she has anything to add or say about the team.
Does that microphone work?
I think so. Come on up.
I can do the teacher voice, but
It should be working. I think my mic is good now.
check, 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 check. Yes, yes. Okay. So thank you for that introduction. Yeah, it was a pretty amazing season. We went completely undefeated in our district. We decided to go in a pay-to-play tournament at VCU because we actually only played against 3 other teams at the district level. And I thought, yeah, we're winning, but. So I took them to the VCU tournament, kind of hoped that they would lose a game, just so that they would know how to lose and how to come back, because you know yourself that sometimes that's hard. They came in 3rd place out of 27 schools at the VCU tournament, and that included Maggie Walker and some of those more elite schools. We breezed through the regional tournament, and then we breezed through the super regional tournament and found ourselves at states. And actually a fun little fact, at the state tournament, we played against 3 other teams. One of those teams went 0-3. The other 3 teams, including us, all went 2-1. So kind of, sort of, we tied for first place. It's going to be my story. Unfortunately, when you're in that, what they call the death tie, it comes down to points. And there was a 60-point spread. which kind of sounds like a lot, but that's actually 6 questions. There was a 60-point spread between first and third. And I will also mention that the first team at States, they named the top 5 scorers. One of them was an absolute beast, scored 440 points that day. Number 5 scored 260. And we figured out later that our Callan scored 255. So we were right there, but pretty amazing. And I am going to, Mayor Schick isn't going to like me very much. We figured out how many years I've been coaching. And I don't know that she fully realizes it, but my first year of coaching was 2001, which was our dear mayor's freshman year and her first full year of playing on the Scholastic Bowl team. So that's actually pretty cool that it came full circle tonight. So I'm really excited. She'll also be happy to know that somehow she missed the team photo. Her name is in there, but she's not in the picture.
Don't look at the photo in my class, though, because that one is very embarrassing.
But you're beautiful with
Oh,
the little braid.
Thank you, yeah.
But thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just want to say, we did not win nearly as much as you guys did, okay? We took a lot of losses, and we had a really good time going to the Dairy Freeze by stands and just pretending like we hadn't lost or just, trying to make it through the losses. So I didn't get to experience the kind of amazing season that you guys did. We kind of trudged through it.
Your senior year was 0-10.
Yeah.
I went and looked.
You don't have to say that out loud.
It's not her fault, but it was a rough year.
At least it wasn't King George football.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you didn't have to say that part. It's okay.
She scored all the points, she just couldn't do it alone.
I couldn't do it alone. No, there was a team right before me, though, that, with that Ian Varney group and Stephen Mothershead that got pretty close. And I really looked up to those kids. And so when I say that, I was in 8th grade when that team happened, okay? You have 8th graders that are watching this and excited for being on the team when they get there, And so just know you're passing that forward and influencing that. You don't know, one of them or one of y'all might be mayor one day. So, I mean, seriously. So, just think that could be in your future. It doesn't pay well, I'll be honest. But it is a wonderful, beautiful thing to do for your community. So we have a proclamation. We also have some gifts for you guys. And so I'm going to read the formal proclamation, and then we'll all take a group photo with the council as well, okay? And then hopefully they'll post it in the newspaper for us. And give us
I make no promises.
Okay, all right, come on, Richard. All right, the proclamation reads, whereas the Colonial Beach Scholastic team, under the leadership of Coach Veronica Reynolds, has demonstrated exceptional dedication, discipline, and teamwork throughout the competitive season, and whereas through countless hours of preparation, perseverance, and commitment to excellence, they achieved the distinguished honor of becoming Super Region 1A, 1B champions. And whereas this remarkable accomplishment reflects not only academic excellence, but also strong leadership, character, and competitive integrity. And whereas team members David Allen, Kalia Chamberlain, Carissa Christensen, Troy Daly, Brennan Duke, Jack Ellington, Noah Foster, Eve Harper, Callan Meyer, Parker Melson, and Bryn Murphy have represented Colonial Beach High School and the town of Colonial Beach with pride and distinction. And whereas the achievements of the Scholastic team exemplify the values of hard work, unity, and determination that strengthen our schools and our town, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Town Council of Colonial Beach, Virginia hereby recognizes and congratulates the Colonial Beach High School Scholastic team for winning Super Region 1A, 1B champions and commends them for their extraordinary accomplishment and service as ambassadors of our community. In witness thereof, we hereunto set our hands and cause the seal of Town of Colonial Beach to be affixed this day. And we have all signed it, and so hopefully, Mr. Lush, Principal Lush is back there, also cheering you guys on. We can get you a copy for the new, recognition and awards. Get you guys up there with some of our other teams. And you'll come back to the school years later and you'll, look back on that and you'll have that moment to be so proud of. So we are proud of you, and one more round of applause for our scholastic team.
Come on, all you over in there. Come on. It's like herding cats. All righty. All right, beautiful people, smile or else.
Congratulations, guys. We have a couple of guests.
There we go. And we got one more left. Is this yours? Okay, here we go. Thank you.
Oh, here, I have the frame.
I think they put some humility in the bag for you too.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you're right. Because he's a senior now, right?
You know, that's a nice thing.
You can take the humble, like, give me what you got.
Yeah, I thought there was a letter on the list that you gave me. Yeah.
Well, he is a bunch.
Quietly, guys, we gotta go to our backpack.
For some reason, they're only working if it's over to the left or over to the right a little bit. They're not working if they're in the center. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just.
significant proclamations to read, and then we'll have Scouting America. You guys be up next, okay? The first one is for Women's History Month. Whereas Women's History Month is celebrated annually during the month of March to recognize and honor the countless contributions women have made to our nation, the Commonwealth of Virginia, and the town of Colonial Beach. And whereas women of every race, class, and background have strengthened Colonial Beach through leadership in local government, education, public safety, business, civic organizations, faith communities, and volunteer service. And whereas women have played a vital role in preserving the history, culture, and waterfront heritage of Colonial Beach while shaping its future growth and prosperity. And whereas women serve as elected officials, municipal employees, entrepreneurs, educators, healthcare professionals, first responders, military service members, caregivers, and community advocates who contribute daily to the safety, economic vitality, and the quality of life in our town. And whereas the Town Council of Colonial Beach recognizes the resilience, leadership, and dedication of the women who have helped build our community and continue to inspire future generations. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Town Council of the Town of Colonial Beach hereby proclaims March 2026 as Women's History Month in the Town of Colonial Beach and encourages all residents to celebrate the achievements and contributions of women in our community throughout the month. All right, next one up is National Procurement Month. We started doing this with when Natasha became town manager. You remember that, Natasha? She introduced this, and it's a part of her background and professional experience as well. But I think it's a wonderful addition. So this is also Procurement Month. Whereas public procurement professionals play a vital role in ensuring that the town of Colonial Beach conducts business in a fair, transparent, ethical, and fiscally responsible manner, and whereas procurement professionals are responsible for securing the goods, services, and construction necessary to support essential municipal operations, including public safety, public works, utilities, parks and recreation, and administrative services. And whereas through sound procurement practices, the town safeguards taxpayer dollars, promotes competition, supports local and small businesses, and maintains compliance with federal, state, and local laws and regulations. And whereas the dedication, expertise, and integrity of procurement professionals contribute significantly to the effective delivery of services and the overall success of local government operations. And whereas March is nationally recognized as Procurement Month, providing an opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate the important contributions of procurement professionals in public service. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the town of Colonial Beach of the town of Virginia does hereby proclaim March 2026 also as Procurement Month in the town of Colonial Beach and encourages all residents to recognize valuable contributions of procurement professionals who work diligently to serve our community. And I'll just say most of them are women, so Women in Procurement Month seems to go hand in hand here in the town of Colonial Beach. All right, Aiden, come on up. You want to introduce us to who you're with here?
So I am.
Oh, wait, bring the mic like towards your, yeah, there you go. Thank you.
I am Aiden Ruckty, the senior patrol leader of Troop 1404, and this is Max Cook, one of our assistant patrol leaders of Troop 1404. Troop 1404 is in King George, Virginia. And back in January, the town of Colonial Beach, especially the Public Works Department, hosted my troop for a day for merit badges and our Court of Honor. It was a cold and rainy day, but we had a great time, learning about first aid and woodworking. We then had our Court of Honor, where we celebrate our last 6 months of achievements as individual scouts and as a troop. The town was so supportive of us. Several members of Public Works dedicated their own time to teach us about some of their special skills in first aid and woodworking. All that came for the merit badge portion were able to get a strong start on first aid merit badge, a Eagle requirement, which is our highest rank, and complete the woodworking merit badge, with supplies graciously donated by Ace Hardware. The woodworking merit, additionally, 2 town restaurants, Lenny's and Pier 909, donated their awesome food for breakfast and lunch. Colonial Beach was so receptive to us, and we truly appreciate everyone who donated their time, talents, and supplies to this event from the entire troop of 1404. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you should earn a merit badge just for getting up to the podium and presenting to the town council. Chris, you think they can get a merit badge for that? I think that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't know. So he actually did get a merit badge for coming to one of the last town council meetings. It was citizenship in the community.
I remember.
So he actually got to get a merit badge because of his attendance to here.
You
Now
get
he
an
got to
extra
do it.
star on that merit badge.
Yeah, you need to get him a merit badge for that Christmas display in your front yard, too.
He's not wrong. Thank you so much. I'm so glad both of you could be here tonight and to thank the Public Works for their generosity in working with you all. That's wonderful to hear and keep doing great things in our community. I know the Eagle Scout status is coveted and hard to go for, and you guys get special projects assigned, that you get to work on to do that. And I've worked with, we've had Eagle Scouts do everything from a kayak launch at James Monroe's birthplace to different little projects in town and things like that. And so I know you guys are going to do great things from, if you're on that path to do that, you're going to make an impact in this community. And so we appreciate you and all you're doing. Thank you. Moving forward, next up is public comment. This is general public comment. So this is the sheet that doesn't have the cup on the top of it. You already picked up the sheet? Heather? Okay. So during all public comments or hearings, we do ask that certain guidelines be followed. Please stand at the podium, and for the record, please state your name and address. If you'd like to be contacted, please provide your contact information to the clerk. That's what the sheet is for, so fill it out if you need be. Make your comments to the council as a whole. Be brief, state your position, and provide facts. And you may provide written statements or any supporting materials to the clerk, and she'll distribute it to the rest of town council and the town manager. Debate is prohibited, and follow-up on comments is provided by the town manager. Speak clearly, as we do want to hear what you have to say. And the council will try to hear everyone who wishes to speak on any subject, and comments are limited to 5 minutes. Time cannot be transferred to another speaker. If you represent a group, you may wish to identify the other members of your group who are in attendance. And after public comment is closed, I encourage you to stay as the council engages in dialogue and deliberation on further items. So with that, we will open up general public comment. Is there anyone signed up?
Eric Nelson.
Welcome.
Madam Mayor, Council, good evening. Eric Nelson. I live at 1321 Lossing Avenue. I'm very happy to be here to speak with you this evening about some things related to downtown Colonial Beach. I think all of you know I'm the president of downtown Colonial Beach, and we have been receiving some very good news recently that I thought I would share at least some of it with you. One of the things that happened very recently is that you recall that Thomas Ruff came and gave a report presentation or I guess it was in December, on the study that they had done for us, and he thought that the study was the document was so good that he thought he would present it or send it to the American Planning Association of Virginia to see if they would accept it for a presentation to be done at their annual conference. And we learned that it was accepted and that there will be a presentation on that document at the upcoming meeting in July. So what this means is that we are now considered like a poster child for these kinds of activities. So we deserve kind of a pat on the back, all of us, for all of the work that went into that and the implementation of that. Another piece of good news that we received was we had a meeting yesterday with our mentor, Kyle Meyer. A year ago, I told you that we had received the recognition from the Virginia Main Street that we were considered a full Main Street program from Virginia. But I also mentioned at the time that we needed to then get our accreditation from Main Street America, the national program. And yesterday, we heard from Kyle Meyer that, that they have recommended, Virginia Main Street has recommended to Main Street America that we get accepted for that final accreditation by Main Street America. That is likely to happen, but the formal announcement by Main Street America will not happen until April, but we are anticipating some good news. And that is a huge step in a great direction for us. So it really is a testament to all the hard work that downtown Colonial Beach and the town has been doing together, working together to accomplish a lot of really important goals. And speaking about important goals, another thing I want to tell you about is in the last 2 years, downtown Colonial Beach has organized a fundraiser that was in connection with Mardi Gras. This year, that didn't work out because some of us who were on the board were unfortunately away on a cruise in the Caribbean. So we had to do that instead of doing the fundraiser. So what we've decided to do instead is to do a Derby party, Kentucky Derby party. So mark your calendars, save the date. It's May 2nd. It's going to be on Town Hill, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So that is going to be our principal fundraiser for the year, and I look forward to seeing all of you there with your derby hats on, and there's going to be competitions and games and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, some good news to share with you about downtown Colonial Beach, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to come up during public comment? All right, we'll keep moving along. We'll close public comment. I got 6:45 p.m. Next up on our list is ordinance 776. This is the communications facility, the cell tower, and Ms. Lawrence, you want to go ahead and read us into where we're at now, because I think you were
Sure.
going to come back with some more information.
Can you
for
go
us.
back up to the front, the top of this presentation? Thank you. Next. Thank you. As you recall, well, let me just start with the science. Town staff is very dedicated to protecting the town's interest in relation to community development. As this process for the telecommunications facilities has moved forward, it has become apparent that there is need for additional regulations and standards related to telecommunications facilities. Next. So the staff is now, we said at the end of the public hearing and the end of your last meeting that we would come back with a recommendation tonight as to what we wanted to do, whether we would bring back a policy or send it back to Planning Commission. Because we did advertise, it's just, everything's going crazy today. Because we did advertise height limit of 100 feet, and we know that some people would like Planning Commission to reconsider that, as well as adding some stronger regulations or policy that would be codified. We are now suggesting that that the zoning text amendments related to telecommunication facilities in the C1 General Commercial District to include supplemental regulations and/or policies go back to Planning Commission and allow, at the same time, the conditional use permit application to proceed concurrently. That will give you a better idea of what the individual project is. Normally, we try to separate the text amendment because you need to look at the big picture and the overall impact it will have on the community, but I know there are some very specific questions. I do want to back up and apologize that last week when somebody asked why the applicant wasn't here, we had always, through Planning Commission and staff, through the whole process, have said we wanted to keep the text amendment separately. Originally, when we invited the applicant, they agreed with us. They did at the day of the meeting, offer to come, and we, at that time, determined it was best not to, and I did not probably portray that in the right way last time. So it was our decision ultimately, and I wanted to clarify that. So the staff does request, if we send, because we're sending it back, we are requesting also that a joint public hearing be held with Planning Commission and Town Council, if that is possible. Next. So I just wanted to give you a timeline. On March 4th, the Town Council authorized a public hearing, the proposed timeline going forward would be that Town Council authorize a public hearing with Planning Commission and Town Council, a joint public hearing to be held. This was originally prior to April 9th, but I understand that you may be canceling your work session for April. So if that's the case, in a later slide, I have changed that a little bit. March 12th, we will take it to Planning Commission if you send it back today, and we will discuss the zoning text amendments, which will include some kind of regulations or recommendations, and the CUP, if that's what council agrees to tonight. At a date to be determined, we'll have a joint public hearing, again, to look at the permitted use in C1 with a CUP, supplemental regulations and/or policies, the conditional use permit application. The possible dates would include a special meeting. I know it's budget season, and that's probably not going to happen. If council would entertain the idea of attending the beginning of the Planning Commission meeting on April 9th, or perhaps doing a joint public hearing at the beginning of the Town Council meeting on April 15th. Once the public hearing is done, it'll go back to Planning Commission, the next Planning Commission meeting, and they will make recommendations on all the matters. Of course, the CUP would be contingent on Town Council approving the zoning text amendments. And then Town Council would receive the Planning Commission report and recommendation at their next meeting. Next. I just want to give you a little, did we skip a page? Oh, no, sorry, go back. To let you know, when it does come back to you, the proposed zoning text amendment, the supplemental regulations and policies in the CUP, when they come back to you, we will include some more information on the Telecommunications Act of 1996 requirements. We have defined a smaller area appropriate for such facilities, and we have a GIS overlay for that. We will discuss the water tower constraints, the height considerations, and the effect on the service areas. The client has given us some information on that, and the types of service being provided. Next. The supplemental regulations and standards, and our locality doesn't do supplemental regulations in our code, but other localities do, and what they would include, or a policy, would include our structural requirements, height limitations, lighting and illumination, co-location standards, setbacks, advertising prohibition, security issues, landscaping and screening, removal of abandoned, unsafe, or unused facilities, and then there will be a section with additional requirements related specifically to what CUP applications could include in addition to the supplemental regulations. Next. So staff recommends a referral, as I said back. Before we get to that, I just want to make sure, and I don't know what happened to the slide, but this, I wanted to back up with the applicant. They submitted a letter to us in late October after some discussions requesting the zoning text amendment. Our code says that Planning Commission or Council must initiate those zoning text amendments. So they did request that we initiate that in October. Planning Commission heard about it in November. They authorized a public hearing in December. They held the public hearing in January, and then you had the public hearing in February. The applicant has asked, because of this lengthy process, that we do the joint public hearing and that we look concurrently at the CUP. So staff recommends a referral back to Planning Commission, but we also recommend a joint public hearing with the Planning Commission and Town Council if you so desire.
Okay. All right, so what does council think about picking a date for a joint? Well, first, let's say, is there a motion to put it back to the Planning Commission? Let's just handle that.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second to that? Okay, all right, so is there discussion on just the fact that the staff's recommending to take it back to the Planning Commission, just that piece of it? Yes, Mr. Williams?
So it's going back to the Planning Commission, and they're going to discuss more potential regulations, restrictions, and things of that nature, like as holistically. I'm wondering, ooh, that's loud. I'm just wondering if this is specifically related to the joint meeting, but, so we're sending it back to them, and so there could be a lot of discussion. They could be talking about how they want to put restrictions on the process, where they may want to allow them, take public input, and all that. And so are you suggesting they do all that, and we sit there with them, and we also have the applicant present, and then, so we're voting on the potential regulations and restrictions, and the same night voting to approve a CUP? Is
So
that the-
the order here would be that you do the joint public hearings with 3 public hearing sections, but all on the same night, but then it get referred back to Planning Commission. No decision is made the night of the public hearings. It gets referred back to Planning Commission. So they'll study it next week's meeting, and then they'll vote on it, a recommendation in April, and then you would get it later in April or May.
Okay.
According to that. So you would not be voting the first time you see it or you hear public input. You would have time to digest that information and see what Planning Commission does.
All right, thanks, appreciate that.
Mr. Wood?
You had mentioned something about piggybacking on the next Planning Commission meeting for the joint meeting. Are we going to be ready for prime time that quickly?
Not next week, the
Okay.
April meeting.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
next
misheard.
week, Planning Commission they'll get a memo
Okay.
tonight saying
Okay.
that it's getting referred back to them, and then I'll discuss it with them. We do have some draft regulations.
Okay, thank you.
and,
Okay, so for the motion to refer it back to the planning commission, is there any further discussion on that motion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to that? Okay, so I think you have direction there. So
Thank you.
now we'll take up the question of whether to do a joint meeting at the beginning of the planning commission's meeting, which would be April 9th. And that would be consecutive then joint public hearings. We would then take up final action at the subsequent regular council meeting. Is my assumption to that timeline?
The second, yes, the meeting, yes, the
Okay.
regular meeting in
So if we
April,
do
if you
April
feel like you
9th.
can. If not, it would be early May.
I say this because it does take staff time and effort to do a joint meeting. Heather has to advertise certain ways, and they have to coordinate things. So if we want to take them up, we kind of need to let them know in enough heads-up time to coordinate all that. Or if we don't want to, somebody's got to say something.
No, I would recommend, I would move that we do it on the April 9th meeting.
On the April 9th date. Okay, so there's a motion on the table, and then we can, is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, all right, let's discuss that, the April 9th date. I'm looking at my calendar. I can do it. I don't know how everybody else's availability is. Yes, Ms. Williams?
I'm just wondering, or thinking out loud, if we schedule that, even if everybody wasn't able to make it, if we could at least make sure that the recording was available for all council members, since we're not taking any action in that particular meeting, we're not making any decisions, so as long as we all have the information. I'm just thinking, because I don't really have my calendar in front of me, so if we did make that situation, at least we would know that we'll have all the information. We can even pass along potential questions, I guess, for that meeting if we're not able to make it.
Well, all meetings are recorded, so we would all have access to it.
Yeah, so I
Well,
think
I
that
would beg to differ with that, go online, try to
Well-
find some of these meetings.
sometimes, yeah. I think, so the 9th, and then we would be expecting it on our regular meeting, the 15th, for follow-up. That's kind of the understanding I'm thinking about. Is there any other discussion or objection to the 9th, holding the joint public hearings on the 9th? And I'm not hearing any. All in favor of that?
Aye.
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 Any opposed to that? All right, I think we go. We're on a go then. Joint public hearings on the 9th. I know they've been waiting 6 months already.
Is
Thank
there a
you.
time for that?
Oh, it's 6 o'clock
'Cause-
is the
That was
planning
another
commission
question.
time
6
now,
o'clock
isn't it?
is a planning commission meeting. We could advertise at a special time separately, a joint meeting, or we can do the 6 o'clock.
Because sometimes we do it like beginning, and then we
Yes.
let them finish their meeting.
I would say the first thing.
Yep, yeah.
Right. We will
Okay.
be, because when we do a joint meeting, we will go into session, they will go into
Right.
session, we will close our session, they can continue their session, that's fine, but yeah, we're gonna start at 6.
That is fine. They don't do all the same stuff you do to start a meeting, so that will be
We
fine.
won't do all that at this, we'll cut to the
Okay.
chase.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay, thank
one
you very
more.
much.
Oh, wait, Mr.
And
Williams.
so that's just a joint meeting. It's not actually a public hearing.
It's a joint public hearing. It's
Joint
not, you
public
guys won't
hearing.
be meeting other than to hear the public hearing and ask questions at that. But
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
You won't be making any decisions or taking any action.
The
The
commission
planning
may
commission
have
will.
to.
Yeah,
I was gonna
the
say
planning
the-
commission will continue their
Okay.
meeting afterwards so that they can get you a recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right. I think that's it on that, right? All right, moving forward to the CUP. Ms. Orr, are you reading us in on this one? Okay, and then we will do the public hearing.
Madam Mayor, members of council, Ms. Tucker, I'm Darla Orr Odom, and I'm here helping the town work with the Planning and Zoning Department. You have a public hearing this evening. It's a conditional use permit request, CUP 2601, by Executive Properties LLC. They are requesting approval of a conditional use to allow a commercial and residential mixed use in a commercial residential zoning district. Next slide, please. In each zoning district, there are certain uses that are permitted by right. In other words, if you meet the requirements of the ordinance, like setbacks and any other regulations, you can obtain a zoning permit and proceed with that use. In the ordinance, there also are conditional uses, and those are uses that require some additional consideration through a public hearing process to determine whether or not those uses, as they're proposed, are appropriate for a given area. And the zoning ordinance provides guidance on those conditional uses. The zoning ordinance says that the uses that need a CUP approval are those that have unique circumstances or standards about them. They're unique uses that don't fit necessarily exactly with the rest of the uses in the district, and so that's why there's some special consideration given. The ordinance says that uses are generally compatible with other land uses in a permitted zoning district, but because of their unique characteristic or potential impact on the surrounding neighborhood or the town, they do require individual consideration of their design, configuration, and operation at a particular location. So this is a consideration that's before you tonight in looking at, in the commercial residential zoning district, the residential commercial mixed use requires consideration of a conditional use permit. The ordinance also provides guidance for you relative to your consideration, and it says that CUPs shall be granted provided the governing body finds that the use will not affect the health and safety of persons residing or working in the area, that the use would not be detrimental to public welfare, injurious or incompatible with property or improvements in the area, and that you would find that the use not be in conflict with the purposes of the town's comprehensive plan. The subject property is identified here on the slide with the little sign that says subject property here. It is 0.34 acres, and it fronts the west line of Washington Avenue, the north line of Hawthorne Street, and it's located right across the street here, right outside the wall. It is also in the northwest corner of the intersection of Hawthorne Street, Washington Avenue, and it is across from Orchid Thai and across from the town center, as I stated. Next slide, please. This is the zoning map for this area. The subject property is identified on the screen. Properties to the north, south, and west of the subject property are shown in yellow here, and they are zoned commercial residential CR, just like the subject property. Properties to the east are zoned resort commercial, RC, and the property that we're discussing this evening is identified as Lot 8, Block 79 of Map 3A22. Next slide, please. This is looking north along Washington Avenue from Hawthorne. The subject property is on the left side of the screen. It is a vacant grass property that you see there. It's directly across from Orchid Thai, as we discussed. Next slide. This is a rendering that is also looking in the same direction from the picture that I just showed you. It's looking north along Washington. It shows the proposed mixed-use building and along the streetscape and how that would look based on the renderings that they had provided by their architect. Interestingly, in this rendering, it also shows some upper story housing at the Orchid Thai building across the street. So that's something perhaps to consider as well. But I thought that this was really good to show you what you would be expecting when the development, if the development does go through. The subject property, next slide. The subject property is also identified here. It's shown sort of in this lightish blue color. The subject property is located in the area designated as a historic resort commercial district by the town's comprehensive plan and future land use map. The plan provides that the historic resort commercial district is the area located in the central area and encompassing all of the parcels along Washington Avenue, areas to the boardwalk, and a smaller section of Colonial Avenue, as you see in the map here. The future land uses in this area are intended to provide recreational and business opportunities designed to foster tourism. Mixed-use development with commercial and residential uses is recognized as being something that should be permitted to preserve the historic integrity of the area. The plan identifies that the area has always had a wide range of land uses and is recognized as the historic commercial area of the town. The plan states that this area is appropriate for residential and commercial mixed use, and that with new investments in the area, efforts are ongoing to target this area for continued revitalization and as a key focus of economic development. Next slide, please. This is a portion of the conceptual plan that the applicants have provided. The applicant does intend to develop the property in substantial compliance with this conceptual plan, and it's in attachment B of your staff report. They propose 4 second-story multifamily residential units in the second floor, and then on the first floor, they propose the commercial uses, which is about 5,300 square feet. The upper story multifamily units would have balconies overlooking Washington Avenue. The applicants have indicated that they intend for these units to be long-term rentals and that the first floor would be for commercial and retail use. The ordinance is required to meet the parking requirements of Article 13. These are the amended revisions to the parking ordinance in Article 13 that Town Council approved in December of last year. They are showing here 12 plus on-site spaces, and I say plus, there are 12 that are shown here, but these are shown as standard spaces. The ordinance allows, so there may be a few more spaces depending upon if they designate any of them compact or golf cart parking, but they're not showing that on their plan as of now. They are allowed to have on and off-site spaces for their proposed uses. There is, if you look at the frontage they have along Washington and along Hawthorne, there should be able to fit 10 or 11 spaces there. So that's about 22 spaces right at the site that would be available for those. The applicant indicated that the multifamily units would be 1 or 2 bedrooms. The ordinance allows, when it's a mixed-use situation like this, residential and commercial, that the provision be made of 0.5 space per bedroom in the unit. And so that's in your current ordinance, and that is because it's located with the commercial use. So there's an offset in some instances of when most spaces would be used for the residents, and then the other spaces used more during the day for the commercial uses that are on the first floor. Also, your current ordinance does also allow or consider the uses, and we'd have to look at the use when it comes in to actually occupy the first floor, the commercial or retail or commercial use. But oftentimes, those uses are transitory, and the ordinance allows you to count spaces within 600 feet of the site for transitory parking. So there are plenty of parking spaces along Washington Avenue. There's also the municipal lot, which is behind us over there. And so they are providing public utilities and the site development. If you look at the site, they will be closing these entrances. There's some existing curb cuts, a property across the street, but they're going to be closing those, and so they would allow for the parking. Yeah, next slide, please. This is just a closer look at the actual renderings that they've submitted with the application. There is a packet of that shows some elevations, these renderings, as well as a couple of other options in the applicant's narrative. But the conditions with the case, which are in your report under Attachment A, say that the development will be substantially in accord with the conceptual plan we looked at, but they also would be in compliance with the renderings, this being one of them, of the case itself. And then the condition goes on to guarantee some things about this elevation, and that is that they would have glass storefronts, as you see here. They would also have balconies, and the conditions also guarantee that there will be certain facade materials that are permitted and other materials, and that they would have a higher architectural quality along the front and on the Hawthorne side, but also on the northern side of the building, the Washington, where you can see it from Washington Avenue, that will also be a higher quality. And so they've agreed with these conditions as recommended by staff. They will have a combination of masonry and hardy plank materials, which are quality materials that they would use. They will arrange the materials to accent the pedestrian character of the first floor, break up the mass of the building, and avoid monotonous building sides. The exact design and materials, of course, will be approved by the Director of Planning and Community Development at the time of site plan review. Next slide, please. So we talked right then about the conditions relative to architectural building materials. There's also a condition that deals with the conceptual site plan layout, which it will be compatible with that plan that we talked about. But there also is a condition, condition 3, which allows them, in lieu of street trees at this point because of the overhead power lines, it allows them to have decorative planters that they're going to use out front in lieu of street trees, but still provide that vegetation that gives that, pedestrian scale, and that improves the visibility along the property frontage. Next slide. So following the Planning Commission's public hearing on January the 29th, they voted unanimously to recommend approval of this case to you. Staff also recommends approval of this request, subject to the conditions, the 3 conditions in the report. As conditioned, the use complies with the plan to provide business opportunities and residential and commercial mixed use in the historic resort commercial district. The building's design includes quality materials and would preserve the historic integrity of the downtown area. The use will not adversely impact or be detrimental or injurious to persons or area properties, and the development will enhance the Main Street corridor and the business district. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, before we open up for council discussion, let's hold the public hearing. Same rules as I discussed for general public comment. We will open the public hearing for Resolution 15-26, conditional use permit 26-01. I think that's 713. My screen is super wonky up here, and it is a hot mess right now. So, it's actually more distracting than like helpful. So I'm just gonna put it down. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to open the public hearing officially now. And is there anyone signed up for this public hearing? Welcome. Okay. Do you want to speak at public comment or do you want to speak first? I think we can just hold the public comment, honestly, and then we can have the applicant speak. Okay? Yep. Come on.
Good evening again. I'm continuing to wear my downtown Colonial Beach hat right now. This proposed development is exactly the kind of activity and the kind of development that downtown Colonial Beach supports. It is, in downtown Colonial Beach, first of all, you should know that the footprint that we are focused on includes this building. So our footprint, downtown Colonial Beach's footprint includes all of Colonial, Washington Avenue, all the way to the beach and boundary. So those are the boundaries that we are mostly focused on. So this fits completely into our footprint, and this is exactly, as I said, the kind of development that we would like to see in this area. Ms. Odom said exactly what part of what I was going to say, which is that this is completely consistent and supports the town's comprehensive plan and the use for this kind of space in this area. It's quite clear that the applicant has been very sensitive to the exterior look of the building in terms of it being consistent with the kinds of development the character of the town. In fact, you probably have recall that you have seen these pictures before. These were prepared, or at least this is based on renderings that were done by Jackie Stewart quite a number of years ago that were used and I think adapted and adopted by downtown Colonial Beach as our vision for the future. So the applicant has been very deliberate and conscious in looking at ways to maintain the character of the town, of this area, the historic elements of this area. And also, as Ms. Odom said, this is the core, this area over here, Hawthorne and Washington, have been historically the core commercial area. Right now, this empty lot does nothing to contribute to that, to business activity. So this proposed development would assist significantly in generating business and activity in this corridor area. So for all of those reasons, downtown Colonial Beach supports this effort and hopes that you will approve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else signed up for the public hearing? Would anyone else like to speak on the public hearing? You're the applicant, so I'm going to wait. Is there anybody else for the public hearing first? Okay, I will close the public hearing at 7:21. And Mr. Wildman, you're welcome to give us a little intro. Keep it brief, and then we will open it up for discussion and stay there so that in case we have additional questions, okay?
Absolutely. Well, good evening, Mayor and members of council. For the record, my name is Daniel Wildman. I'm representing Executive Properties here at the Town Council for a thoughtfully designed two-story mixed-use building located at 110 Washington Avenue, as Ms. Odom said, right next door here. The project directly supports the vision of Colonial Beach Comprehensive Plan by strengthening the Washington Avenue corridor as a vibrant, walkable mixed-use destination. Our proposal includes 2 ground-floor commercial spaces designed for retail, office, or service-type businesses, and 4 residential units above. The combination brings daytime activity, evening presence, and a long-term investment to our downtown corridor. This is a smart infill development. Rather than expanding outward in town, we're actually reinvesting in an existing lot where infrastructure already exists. The scale is modest and appropriate for the area, with street-facing storefronts to encourage pedestrian engagement, separate residential entrances for privacy, and screened areas and ADA compliant access. Parking is accessed from Hawthorne Street to reduce congestion along Washington Avenue, and the number of residential units is small enough that it has minimal impact to the schools, utilities, and public safety parts of town. Economically, this project creates opportunities for small businesses, generates additional tax revenue, and increases housing supply in the very area where walkability and proximity to other services and amenities are the strongest. Environmentally, it complies with stormwater regulations and promotes sustainability land use within the town limits. In short, this proposal aligns with your adopted planning goals, enhances the neighborhood character, and activates a prominent downtown corner in a very responsible way. For these reasons, we respectfully ask for your approval of the conditional use permit. We're excited for this project and what we can do for the downtown area, and we ask for your approval. Thank you.
All right. Having held the public hearing, do we want to open up a motion and then we can entertain discussion on that
So moved.
for approval? Is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Yes, Mr. Williams.
Just a couple of quick things. I know when we did the boardwalk property for Dotson, they asked for a residential unit on the bottom floor to, I guess, bypass elevators. Is there any requirement for elevator in this situation, or is it because it's only for residential units that it's not required? Okay. And then other question, for the curb cutouts, who's responsible for removing those, or are they staying and just, because I know one of the connectivity recommendations was to start getting rid of those. So would we be getting rid of those or just leaving them there? And if so, who would be responsible for removing them?
We plan on cutting them out and replacing with the curbing alongside there.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
Any other discussion? I'll do a roll call vote. This is a formal proceeding for a cut permit. Grandstaff?
Aye.
Sanford?
Aye.
Ellison?
Aye.
Wood?
Aye.
Larson?
Aye.
Williams?
Aye.
And I enthusiastically say aye. This is incredible, fantastic. We can't wait. It's perfect for the town, and we don't need to keep saying all the things that Darla already said. So,
We're excited. Thank you very much.
thank you. Oh, yeah, you have an ETA on, provided permitting doesn't take too long?
Well, it's kind of like putting the cart before the horse. We haven't even put it out for mechanicals and architecture. That's our next step next week to start in that process. Mike, if it was a rough guess, I don't even know that we'll be moving dirt by the end of the summer. Just because the process of permitting and architecturals and mechanicals and bids and all that. So
Maybe
we're
a
hoping
year or
this
two.
year to start, maybe at the end of the year, but we'll see.
Okay,
Yeah, we want to get going as quick as we can, however we can do it, so,
yeah,
Yeah.
that seems pretty reasonable. Okay.
thank you.
All right, we did add in discussion to nix the April work session, and now we've added April Planning Commission joint. How do you guys feel about that? Do you want to bring it back to the next council meeting, or can we make a decision so some of the staff can also plan their, I'm going on vacation whether you do it or not, so, but I'm just saying, what do we want to
Are
do?
you suggesting maybe we look at our calendars and decide next meeting whether we want to do it or?
We
or
can do that, or we can just nix it right now. It's up to the council, however you'd like to proceed.
How long does Heather need for advertisement?
For canceling?
No, for the joint, oh, never mind, I'm thinking
Yeah,
of like.
we added a joint meeting. I'm talking about canceling.
Oh, you're
It's-
talking about the
It would be
cancellation.
April 1st is the meeting, it's the work session meeting that month.
I would-
staff-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, if staff's, doesn't need that meeting, like if it's not, urgent, that they, do it, then I'm okay with canceling it.
Natasha, how do you feel about it? Are we interrupting your, I know Heather's got a forward tracker. You got anything that's gonna be problematic? Okay,
Not for the work session. It would actually give us more time to work on the budget.
okay. Any
Well, we
other-
can't have that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Let's throw a monkey wrench into that.
Mr. Wood, I saw your hand up, I'm sorry.
No, I'm all for nixing the April 1st date.
Okay,
I'll second that.
second that, all right, that seems to be a motion on the table now that has a second. Any other discussion on nixing it? All right, all in favor of nixing the April work session, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
No.
opposed?
Hmm.
All righty.
Yeah.
Heather, you got that down? Okay. All right, next up, we'll go into closed meeting, Mr. Wood. I move that the Town Council of the Town of Colonial Beach, Virginia convene in closed meeting for the following purposes and to discuss the following subjects, all of which are exempt from Virginia law from public meeting requirements as indicated, namely pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A7 for the purpose of consultation with legal counsel and briefings by staff members or consultants pertaining to actual or probable litigation where such consultation or briefing in open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating or litigating posture of the town council. Pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711A8 for the purpose of consultation with legal counsel retained by the town council regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel. And with that, we will be in closed meeting. I'm going to get 5 minutes restroom break, and then we'll go back there. Okay, guys?
Okay.
on something. I'm just going to do it standing up. All right, is there a motion to reconvene an open meeting?
So moved.
I need a second. All in favor? Is there a motion to certify that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting were convened, were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by council?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, now I need each roll call.
I so certify.
I so certify.
I so certify.
I so certify, and with that, we will adjourn at 8:36 PM.